The rain poured mercilessly as Emma Collins stepped out of her chauffeur-driven Mercedes, her designer heels sinking into a puddle. Cursing under her breath, she was about to retreat when she noticed him, a man shielding a small child with nothing but his own jacket, both of them drenched to the bone. What happened next would change 3 lives forever, in ways none of them could have imagined. If this story of unexpected kindness and life-changing generosity touches your heart, please hit that like button and subscribe to see more real-life stories that restore faith in humanity. Marcus Johnson hadn't always been broke. There was a time when he had a stable job as an accountant, a modest but comfortable home, and a loving wife. They had dreams, big ones, for themselves and for their daughter Lily. But life had other plans. First came the economic downturn and the layoffs. Then, just as he was struggling to find new employment, his wife Sarah was diagnosed with aggressive cancer. The medical bills piled up faster than autumn leaves, and within 18 months, Marcus had lost everything, his savings, their home, and most devastatingly, Sarah. Now, 2 years later, he lived in a small 1-bedroom apartment in a part of town he would have once avoided. He worked 2 jobs, morning shifts at a warehouse and evenings at a gas station, just to keep a roof over their heads and food on the table for 6-year-old Lily. Despite everything, he was determined to give his daughter as normal a childhood as possible. She was his world, the only light in the darkness that his life had become. That rainy Tuesday in October started like any other day. Marcus had dropped Lily at school before heading to the warehouse. His shift had ended early because of inventory issues, which meant he could pick up Lily from school himself instead of having her go to the after-school program, a rare treat for both of them. But as they walked home, the skies opened up. They were still 15 blocks from their apartment when the downpour began. Emma Collins was having a terrible day. As the CEO of Collins Enterprises, a multinational tech corporation, she was used to pressure. But today had been exceptional, a major deal falling through, board members questioning her leadership, and to top it all off, her assistant had quit. Now, her car had broken down in a neighborhood she barely recognized, and her driver was on the phone with roadside assistance, estimating at least an hour's wait. "I'll just find a cafe or something," she told her driver, stepping out before he could protest. That's when she saw them, a man and a little girl, huddled under the awning of a closed shop. The man had removed his worn jacket and was holding it over the child's head, leaving himself exposed to the elements. Something about the scene made Emma pause. Perhaps it was the tenderness in the man's eyes as he looked down at his daughter, or the way the little girl clutched a soggy paper in her hand, what looked like a drawing, trying desperately to protect it from the rain. "Excuse me," Emma called out, approaching them. "Are you okay? Do you need help?" Marcus looked up, surprised. He wasn't used to strangers offering assistance, especially not well-dressed women who clearly didn't belong in this neighborhood. "We're fine, thank you," he replied automatically, pride making his voice stiffer than intended. But Lily, with a child's innocence, had no such reservations. "My drawing got wet," she said, holding up the paper. "I made it for Daddy's birthday tomorrow, but now it's ruined." Emma knelt down, ignoring the puddle soaking through her expensive pants. "May I see?" she asked gently. Lily handed over the paper, revealing a colorful, if now smudged, drawing of a man and a little girl holding hands under a rainbow. "That's me and Daddy," she explained. "And that's Mommy in heaven, watching over us." Marcus felt his throat tighten. "Lily, we shouldn't bother the lady." "It's no bother," Emma said, looking up at Marcus. There was something in his eyes, a mixture of exhaustion, determination, and a deep love for his daughter, that struck a chord within her. "My car broke down, and I'm waiting for assistance. Perhaps we could all wait together somewhere dry. There must be a cafe nearby." Before Marcus could decline, Lily spoke up. "There's Miss Rosa's bakery around the corner. She makes the best cookies, but we only get them on special days." Emma smiled. "Well, I'd say a ruined drawing and a broken-down car qualify as special circumstances." Would you show me the way? And so, the unlikely trio made their way to Miss Rose's bakery, where Emma insisted on buying hot chocolate and cookies for all of them. As they sat at a small table by the window, watching the rain, conversation flowed more easily than any of them expected. Marcus learned that Emma was not just wealthy but self-made, having built her company from the ground up after growing up in foster care. Emma discovered that Marcus had once been an accountant with a promising career before a series of unfortunate events had derailed his life. And both adults were captivated by Lily's bright spirit and imagination, untarnished despite the hardships she had faced. When Emma's driver called to say the car was ready, she found herself reluctant to leave. On impulse, she handed Marcus her business card. "I'm always looking for good people at my company," she said. "If you're interested, call me. We could use someone with accounting experience." Marcus stared at the card, torn between pride and practicality. "Thank you," he finally said, pocketing it. "I appreciate the offer." Emma nodded, understanding his hesitation. She knelt down to Lily's level once more. "And as for your drawing, I think we can fix it. Do you have art supplies at home?" Lily shook her head. "We had to leave a lot of stuff when we moved to the small house." Emma glanced at Marcus, who looked away, embarrassment coloring his cheeks. "Well," she said, "perhaps I could send you some." "Would that be okay, Marcus?" He wanted to refuse, to tell this stranger that they didn't need charity. But looking at Lily's hopeful face, he couldn't bring himself to do it. "That's very kind of you," he said instead. What Marcus didn't know was that Emma had been deeply affected by their chance encounter. As her car pulled away, she couldn't stop thinking about the father and daughter. There was something about Marcus's quiet dignity in the face of adversity and Lily's resilience that resonated with her own past struggles. The next day, Marcus's birthday passed with little fanfare. He worked his morning shift, picked up Lily from school, and was preparing their simple dinner when there was a knock at the door. Opening it, he found a delivery person holding a large package. "Delivery for Lily Johnson," the courier announced. Inside the package was an array of art supplies, high-quality colored pencils, markers, paints, sketchbooks, and even a small easel. There was also a card that read, "For a talented artist. Keep drawing your beautiful world. Emma." Lily was ecstatic, immediately setting up her new art station in the corner of their small living room. Marcus was touched but also uncomfortable with such an expensive gift. He found Emma's card and called her office, expecting to leave a message with a secretary. To his surprise, Emma herself answered. "It's too much," Marcus said after thanking her. "We can't accept such an expensive gift." "Consider it an investment in a future artist," Emma replied. "And speaking of investments, have you thought about my job offer?" Marcus hesitated. "I have, but I don't think I'm in a position to take on a corporate role right now. With Lily's school schedule and my lack of recent experience." "We can work around that," Emma interrupted. "I need someone to audit some of our charitable foundation's accounts. It's part-time, flexible hours, and you can work remotely when needed. Would that be more manageable?" It sounded too good to be true, but Marcus found himself saying yes. Within a week, he had started his new position, earning more than his 2 previous jobs combined while working fewer hours. For the first time in years, he could breathe a little easier, spend more time with Lily, and even start saving again. What Marcus didn't know was that Emma had created the position specifically for him. After their meeting, she had done some research, even hiring a private investigator to verify Marcus's background. Everything he had told her checked out: his accounting career, his wife's illness and death, the financial ruin that followed. Emma recognized in Marcus something she valued highly: integrity in the face of crushing adversity. Over the next few months, Marcus proved his worth many times over. His attention to detail and financial acumen actually uncovered several inefficiencies in the foundation's operations, saving them considerable money. Emma was impressed but not surprised. As Christmas approached, Lily's school announced their annual holiday concert. Lily would be singing a solo, a fact she shared with Emma during one of her now regular visits to their apartment. Emma had become something of a mentor to Lily, encouraging her artistic talents and often bringing new books or art supplies. "Will you come to my concert?" Lily asked Emma, her eyes wide with hope. Emma glanced at Marcus, who nodded slightly. "I wouldn't miss it for the world," she promised. The night of the concert, Marcus and Lily arrived early. Lily was nervous but excited in her best dress, a hand-me-down that Marcus had carefully ironed. They found seats near the front, saving one for Emma, though Marcus wasn't entirely sure she would make it. Someone as important as Emma Collins surely had more pressing engagements than an elementary school concert. But just as the lights were dimming, Emma slipped into the seat beside them. "Sorry I'm late," she whispered. "Board meeting ran long." Marcus was touched that she had come at all. "Thank you for being here," he said simply. The concert was charming in the way all children's performances are, slightly off-key but full of enthusiasm. When it was Lily's turn to sing her solo, Marcus felt his heart swell with pride. His daughter's clear voice filled the auditorium as she sang "Silent Night," and for a moment, he could almost feel Sarah's presence beside him, sharing in this moment. Glancing sideways, he was startled to see tears in Emma's eyes. She caught him looking and smiled, a little embarrassed. "She's remarkable," Emma whispered. "You've done an amazing job with her, Marcus." After the concert, as they were leaving, Emma invited them both to dinner. "I have a proposition to discuss," she explained as they settled into a family restaurant that was nicer than anywhere Marcus and Lily had eaten in years. Over dinner, Emma explained that her company was opening a new office in another state, and she needed someone trustworthy to oversee the financial setup. "It's a big promotion," she told Marcus. "More responsibility, better pay, and," she glanced at Lily, who was happily coloring on the children's menu, "it comes with a company apartment in a great school district." Marcus was stunned. "Why me? You must have dozens of more qualified people." Emma looked at him steadily. "Because in the months I've known you, you've shown more integrity, work ethic, and intelligence than most of the Ivy League graduates I employ. And because," she hesitated, "I know what it's like to struggle, to feel like the world is against you. Someone gave me a chance once, and it changed my life. I'm just paying it forward." That night, after Lily was asleep, Marcus sat in their small living room, thinking about Emma's offer. It was an incredible opportunity, one that could give Lily the kind of life he and Sarah had dreamed of for her. But it also meant uprooting them, leaving behind the few connections they had, including the memories of Sarah that seemed embedded in every corner of their life here. In the end, the decision came down to one question: what would Sarah want? And Marcus knew the answer. Sarah would want Lily to have every opportunity, every chance at happiness. 2 months later, Marcus and Lily moved into their new apartment, a spacious 3-bedroom in a building with a doorman and a rooftop garden. Lily was enrolled in an excellent school with a strong arts program, and Marcus started his new position, discovering that he not only enjoyed the work but excelled at it. What surprised Marcus most, however, was how often Emma visited. Despite her busy schedule, she made time to check on them, to take Lily to museums and art galleries, to have dinner with them both. Gradually, Marcus realized that Emma wasn't just helping them out of charity or even as a mentor, she genuinely cared about them. One evening, after Lily had gone to bed, Emma and Marcus sat on the balcony of their new apartment, looking out at the city lights. "I never properly thanked you," Marcus said quietly. "For everything you've done for us." Emma shook her head. "You don't need to thank me. Watching you and Lily thrive is thanks enough." "Still, I wonder why," Marcus persisted. "Why us? Why that day in the rain?" Emma was silent for a long moment. "When I was 10, she finally said, my parents died in a car accident. I had no other family, so I went into foster care. Most of my foster homes were not good. But there was one, a single father with a daughter of his own. He didn't have much, but he treated me like I belonged, like I mattered. He's the one who encouraged me to pursue my education, to believe I could be more than my circumstances. She turned to look at Marcus. When I saw you in the rain that day, putting Lily's needs before your own despite having so little yourself, it reminded me of him. And I thought, maybe this is my chance to be for someone else what he was for me. Marcus reached out and took her hand. You've been that and more. For both of us. As their friendship deepened over the following year, it gradually evolved into something more. Emma, who had always kept people at a distance, found herself opening up to Marcus in ways she never had with anyone else. And Marcus, who had believed his heart would forever belong to Sarah, discovered that it was possible to honor her memory while also making room for new love. Lily, for her part, blossomed in their new life. Her artistic talents flourished under Emma's encouragement, and she grew close to the woman who had so unexpectedly changed their lives. On the anniversary of their first meeting, Lily presented Emma with a drawing, a man, a woman, and a little girl standing together under a rainbow, with a fourth figure watching over them from above. That's you, and Daddy, and me, Lily explained, pointing to each figure. And that's Mommy in heaven, still watching over us, but now she's happy because we're not sad anymore. Emma felt tears well up in her eyes as she hugged the little girl who had become so dear to her. Looking over Lily's head, she met Marcus's gaze and saw in it everything she had ever wanted but never believed she could have: love, family, belonging. 5 years after that rainy day when a broke single dad had helped a VIP woman with a broken-down car, Emma Collins and Marcus Johnson were married in a small ceremony with Lily as their flower girl. The foundation they established together helped single parents facing financial hardship, providing not just monetary assistance but mentorship, job training, and emotional support. Their story, which began with a simple act of kindness in the rain, touched countless lives. It served as a powerful reminder that sometimes, the most meaningful connections come when we least expect them, and that compassion has the power to transform not just individual lives but entire communities. As for Lily, she grew up to become a renowned artist whose work celebrated the resilience of the human spirit and the unexpected beauty that can emerge from life's darkest moments. Her most famous piece, titled "The Rain That Changed Everything," depicted a man, a woman, and a child finding shelter together in a storm, a testament to the day that had changed all their lives forever. If this story touched your heart, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more inspiring real-life stories that remind us of the power of kindness and the unexpected ways our lives can change when we open our hearts to others. Remember, sometimes the smallest acts of compassion can lead to the most profound transformations.